Yo guys, welcome to a brand new video. It's been a while since I made a build video. Obviously the final shape is out now, so I thought let's come back with a build video. So we're going to start this build off within the subclass. We're going to start with the super because there's two options here. You could run Song of Flame, which does give damage reduction to you and your allies, and you regenerate your abilities and your solar and your connect weapon Scorch, or you can run the well. Here's why I'm going to say not to run the well. The well it got completely shit on. It is not good anymore. It's a big healing rift at this point. That's really all it is. I think in lower tier content like strikes, maybe even some dungeon and raid encounters, it could be fine. But when you start doing like boss fights in dungeons or anything where like the group is being like just pounded on by like just tons of damage, you're just gonna die in the well. That's what I'm saying. Swap over to Song of Flame and then just do that. You're gonna get way more damage off, and once you just throw a healing rift down, throw your healing nade down, and I'm telling you, it's better than a well because both of these combined, one, you'll get overshield because of the healing rift, and this will constantly be giving you ×2 cure on top of the healing rift already healing you to get that overshield. It's way stronger, trust me. But like I said, abilities, we're going for the healing rift. Burst Glide, pick whichever one you want. Burst Glide is what we're going for. We're going for Incinerator Snap, Instant Ignition if you hit the whole thing on a target, or I think most of it or something, but it's an instant ignition, good for unstops, so you have that. Healing Aid, you have to run the Healing Aid. Why wouldn't you run the Healing Aid? The other thing about this helmet is when you throw down the Healing Aid, at least if you throw it down near you, it'll still heal you like a normal Healing Aid, but then the turret will come up and then heal you again, and you'll get that ×2 cure and that ×2 restoration, and your teammates will get it. What I've been doing mostly is throwing it towards my teammate because I have my healing rift, so I've been throwing it towards my teammate to proc one of our fragments down here, and I'll show you why in a second. Touch of Flame. This does affect the helmet. The only way you can get ×2 cure and ×2 restoration is if you're running Touch of Flame for the healing grenade buff that it gives. So you do have to run this. I'm running the Helion, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Helion, I think is what it's called. This is really good, especially because you're going to be using your healing rift so often, so you'll be able to keep this up quite often. And it can Scorch, and it can Ignite, which is also going to affect a couple of our fragments. So we have that can Ignite. A lot of these things all Scorch and Ignite, which is going to affect our fragments. So Ember of Mercy, when you revive an ally, you and other nearby allies gain restoration, and then picking up a fire sprite gets restoration. So there's two things there. We do make a lot of fire sprites with this, so you have restoration out constantly. And here's why I've been throwing my healing aid towards my teammate. When we apply restoration, cure, or radiant to an ally, we get the increased grenade, melee, and class regeneration. If you keep your nade on your teammates constantly, you basically will have 100% uptime on this. It's like a 7 or 8 seconds that it lasts. Then it goes away for a couple of seconds, and then it'll come right back. So there's a little bit of a downtime between when it procs and downtime, then it procs. But you can have 100% uptime on this if you throw your healing aid towards your teammates. So totally, if you need to, just throw the healing aid towards them. Ember of Singeing, your class ability recharges fast when you Scorch targets. Like I said, this Scorches, this Ignites, and plays Scorch. This will Scorch and all that as well. Our weapons also do that. So you'll have 100% uptime on the healing rift with the Helion. Sorry. So yeah, definitely run this. Ember of Searing, defeating Scorch targets creates a fire sprite, but also gives you melee energy. This build, you need your melee quite often to make orbs. It's one of the 2 ways we have for making orbs. Well, I think there's like 3 ways, but this is one of the main ways, is igniting with this melee and getting the kills. So definitely want to get the melees back, and also creates a fire sprite, which means we'll get restoration from it. Alright, now switching over to the weapons. We're going to be running the Call in our first slot here, the kinetic slot. I have crafted with lead from Gold Bone for all. Then we have high explosive ordnance with smart drift. These two could vary depending on how you want to play the weapon. I have it set up to have a ton of velocity. If you wanted, you could also run demo here if you want to get your healing nade back even faster. Demo would work perfect here. If you wanted to, you can also craft something like this that has Strategist and Demo, but Strategist gives you class ability energy, so you have that healing rift a lot more often, and then Demo obviously gives you grenade energy, so one kill will give you a bunch of energy in both of those. Alright, moving on to the special section, or the energy section, sorry. There's going to be 2 weapons here that we're going to be looking at, and there's going to be a couple perk options here as well. So the main weapon here for team play, and I should specify team play, I would not run this weapon outside of team play because you're not going to really gain the benefits of it. No hesitation, this is a new weapon from the Final Shape. It's a support frame. Basically, when you hit fire your teammates, you'll heal them and you'll give them restoration and stuff. And then it gives you ×2 restoration when you have physic here. Replicating aggro against you and your allies' restoration. Okay, so you only get the restoration part if you have this on here. There's also a perk here in the 4th slot called Circle of Life, I believe. And that is going to, when you rapidly heal your teammates, it's going to buff the weapon. I think it's like 20 or 25%. I have it as incandescent right now. I just thought it felt better. If you're solo, I would swap off to something else in the heavy and then go for the Sunshot. You're just going to have a better time. But for our main heavy, we are going to be running Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath is absolute monster with this build, and I will tell you why. Obviously, it scorches, and it'll ignite a couple of times. Obviously, the fragments need the ignite to be a kill, but it will eventually kill. If you shoot into a pack of mobs, that first ignition is going to kill them, a couple of them. So, is a powerhouse. But when you combo this, I just found this yesterday when I was damaging with it. When you combo this with the Song of Flame Super, you can absolutely destroy motherfuckers with this shit. If you are using Sunshot in the 2nd slot, you could always use Edge Transit, Apex Predator, a different machine gun, a sword, pretty much anything. But preferably something that scorches and ignites. You could use that solar machine gun from Duality. Moving over to the armor, obviously the speaker's sight. Like I said, healing aids spawn a restorative turret, and the healing allies occasionally makes orbs. I have double solar siphon. Like I said, the call, you're not really going to be spamming it too much. If you really wanted to, you could change one of these to a strand siphon. But since we're going to be using the solar weapon so often, it's better to run 2 of these. That way you can make orbs faster with your solar weapon. And Powerful Friend, collecting an orb causes nearby allies to increase their armor charge. So it's like I said, this is a very heavy for team play. On the gauntlets, we're going to be running heavy-handed, impact induction, and focus striking. For the chest piece, it's really going to be whatever you want. It's one of the more open pieces. Really, you can just, whatever you feel like you want to run here, run it. I'm running Strain Reserves for the sidearm. You could also run solar reserves for the Dragon's Breath. You get so much ammo with the call when you're running reserves. It's like 60 some odd rounds. So it's insane. On the boots, we're going to be running a double solar surge and then an innervation. And for the class item, we're going to be running a Reaper, another way of making orbs. You're going to be making orbs with this quite often because you're going to be spawning. You're going to be using your healing rift quite a lot, so. And this will combo perfectly with Powerful Attraction. So any orbs we have made, by the time we put down that healing rift, they'll get sucked in, and bam. And then we have Outreach. That'll give us a little bit of melee cooldown when we put down our class abilities. So when you put one class ability down, the healing rift, all 3 of these proc. And I guess really quick, if you want to copy my Hunter's Journal, we're running anti-beard pulls, blah, blah, blah. We're running all of these. These 2 are really only for prismatic. So, swap that out if you want for this. And then, yeah, if you want to copy that and check all those out, feel free.